You can see how much Ron Howard enjoys making movies. Seeing him discuss his film Gung-ho on MTV and on March 5th, 1986. He's interviewed by Mark Goodman, and he's promoting the film Gung-ho and talks about the other films he's made up to that point, and he glows talking about making movies. And this is a guy who arguably could be the greatest child actor of all time. I mean, that Twilight Zone alone. And then you bring in Opie. Amazing actor. Amazing director.
I mentioned at the top of the hour we got a special guest. Here with me tonight is somebody who is no stranger to television or film. Ron Howard's career as an actor spans back to the early 60s. But he's done what very few actors have been able to do. He's made
transition
from actor to director. That's what I was looking for, with films like Splash and Cocoon and Night Shift. Ron Howard is here with us. It's great to have you here, Ron.
Well, thank you. First time I got invited to read my own intro. I like this show already.
And a damn good job that you did, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Gung-ho is the new movie.
Right.
Maybe you can give us a synopsis.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's a comedy. It stars Michael Keaton, and it takes place in a small town in Pennsylvania where their automobile plant has been the main source of revenue for everybody in the town, and the plant has closed down. So they get together and they decide to send the most popular, funniest, most interesting guy to Japan to try to get the Japanese to come and reopen the plant. So they decide to send Michael Keaton. So he goes over there, and he actually succeeds. He gets him to come over. Everybody thinks it's going to be great until these two cultures have to try to work together, and that's when it starts getting a little out of hand.
The germ of this idea came from something specific, though, didn't it?
Well, of course, you pick up the newspaper, and you know, every other day there's an article about a Japanese company coming in, or fear of Japanese imports and all that. But yeah, there was a few years ago a 60 Minutes story about American workers, a plant, I think it was in Tennessee. There's another one in Ohio, you know, and that was a very positive story. But as we started probing around a little bit, we found that there were some conflicts, and of course, that's what makes for funny, you know, is conflict. And so we thought it would make a good comedy.
We have some pieces of the film which we're going to get to a little bit later on in the hour, and I should also mention that in addition to that, a movie soundtrack with music on it.
All right.
Which is is great. A lot of great new music, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk with one of the artists who was on the soundtrack. All of this is coming up, plus, as I mentioned, and as you can see, Ron Howard here, and don't go anywhere. That's Sam Harris video for you. I'd do it all again. Sam Harris video and Ron Howard, our guest tonight. We've been talking about the new film Gung-ho. And if you were around for the synopsis before, then you know what it's about. If not, catch up. In the meantime, you went to Japan,
yeah,
to do some of the filming for it.
Oh, we had fun in Japan. We had Michael Keaton and Getty Watanabe, and myself and a cameraman, Don Peterman, and a couple of crew people, but really a small unit. And we were like a little, it was kind of back to student film days for us, you know, or kind of like making a silent movie. We didn't really have a script. The sequence is supposed to be Michael goes over to Tokyo, and he's kind of got an address, but he can't figure out what's going on. So he goes wandering around lost. That was all we had in the script. So for 2.5 days, we just went wandering around. We'd stop, we'd say, oh, there's the Ginza. Ride down the Ginza. No, you're not allowed to film the Ginza. Don't worry about it. We're Americans. If anything, go down the Ginza. Hiding in cars and shooting. And also we'd stop by we drove by the road. There's a rice field. Michael, if you'd go out there and roll your pants up and get directions from some guy, and we got just a farmer out there standing around. He's in the movie. So for like a couple of days, we just had a great time roving around making shots.
Improv.
It really was. And of course, Michael Keaton is great at that. He's brilliant at that stuff. We even mic'd him and had him just talking to people on the street. It was sort of candid camera time. It was good stuff.
We have a piece from the film.
Right.
Which maybe you can set up for us.
Okay, all right. Well, what happens in the movie is once the Japanese come over and start, and their management team takes over this automobile plant, Michael Keaton is kind of this hero. I mean, he got the Japanese to come over, and the Japanese decide to give him a job as a sort of a liaison between themselves and the Japanese. And when the changes start rearing their ugly head, and a lot of Americans get kind of upset about the way the Japanese want to go about their business, it puts Michael in kind of an awkward position, and so sometimes he has to go and try to talk to his bosses. And this is a dinner scene where he's over there kind of trying to make a point with them.
Here's a scene from Gung-ho. When does Gung-ho open?
It opens March 14th.
All right, and as I mentioned, it's got a great soundtrack, and we're going to be talking with a contributor to the soundtrack and more with Ron Howard. Stick with us.
Thank you for watching Cleveland Live Music. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, or hit the next video button. Or if you really like what you see, you can do the American thing and send money. There's like information for that stuff in the video descriptions. Just keep watching the videos, that's all I care about. Taped all this junk for some reason. So, again, thank you for all the support making the channel grow. Ain't that America? Rah, rah, rah.